in a neighborhood ruled by strict rules and one relentless HOA president. Everything changed the day royalty came to visit. What was meant to be a peaceful cultural event turned into a national spectacle, thanks to one woman's obsession with control. She thought the rules protected her, until she broke them in front of the world. This is the story of Willow Creek's royal meltdown. Willow Creek Estates was the kind of place where lawns were measured, not mowed, where porch lights matched HOA-approved pallets, and where stepping an inch outside the rulebook could get you a letter taped to your door. For 4 years. I had lived here, peacefully enough until I met Karen Mitchell. Karen wasn't just the HOA president. She was the crown, the court, and the executioner. You didn't disagree with her, you complied. She ran the community like it was her kingdom, armed with a clipboard, a smile that didn't reach her eyes, and a memory for violations sharper than any security camera. My first offense. Solar panels, fully permitted, professionally installed. Karen still called them reflective clutter and left a passive-aggressive note about aesthetic responsibility and property values. Then came the warnings about my mailbox, the grass height, even the color of my mulch. I kept my patience. Most of us did, but everyone has a line. Ours came with royalty. The news broke quietly. A small European kingdom, mostly ceremonial, was sending its royal delegation on a diplomatic tour across the United States. As part of a cultural exchange, they wanted to visit local neighborhoods that exemplified American suburban living. The mayor chose Willow Creek. The community was thrilled. News vans parked early. Children made flags. Local businesses donated decorations. The HOA board approved the event unanimously. Everyone saw the value in it. Everyone except Karen. She exploded. This is an invasion of privacy. She fumed at the emergency meeting. We are not a public park. They cannot march foreign monarchs through my street like some spectacle. The board reminded her the city approved it. The event would last 15 minutes. It would include a donation to the community garden. Karen dismissed it all. Willow Creek Lane is private HOA property. I will not allow it. But Karen had already lost control. The rest of the board had moved on without her. She stormed out, muttering about lawyers and defending the neighborhood. In the days that followed, Karen declared war. She blanketed the community with flyers, warning of royal trespassing and media pollution. She spammed inboxes with subject lines like, "Emergency alert, foreign presence imminent." Some of us began saving them. We called it the Mitchell Madness Archive. Then, 2 days before the visit, she showed up at my door with a clipboard and a dead serious glare. "I need your signature to block this event," she said. I told her no. She narrowed her eyes. "Your lawn is nearly 3 inches too tall again. Call the palace," I said, and closed the door. The morning of the event was picture perfect. Blue skies, light breeze. Families lined the sidewalks, children waving paper flags, news crews setting up. The mayor arrived with a security team. There was laughter, music, and excitement. Karen, meanwhile, turned her front yard into a protest zone. Yellow caution tape, traffic cones across the driveway, signs that read "Private Road" and "No Monarchs Allowed." Ironically, she was now violating at least half a dozen HOA regulations herself. She wore a crisp red blazer and white slacks. In one hand, a garden hose. In the other, a bright blue bucket filled to the brim with water. She stood at the edge of her property like a general preparing for battle. I walked over cautiously. "Karen, whatever you're thinking, don't..." She didn't look at me, just said, "Sometimes the law needs help remembering where the line is." Then the motorcade arrived. 3 black SUVs and a vintage Rolls-Royce bearing the royal flag. Inside was the royal visitor, a dignified man in his 60s, wearing traditional robes edged with gold. As the cars slowed, Karen stepped into the street and threw the entire bucket of water into the open window of the royal car. Gasps erupted. Cameras clicked. Reporters froze mid-sentence. The prince blinked in confusion. Water dripping from his eyebrows. Police and security officers sprang forward. Karen yelled, "This is private property. I'm the HOA president. I have the right." An officer stepped in. "Ma'am, you are under arrest for assault on a diplomatic guest and obstruction of a city-sanctioned event." "You can't arrest me," she screamed. "I'm defending our values." But the cuffs went on. The royal visitor stepped from the car, soaked but composed. He raised a hand to quiet the crowd. Then, with a slight smile, said, "In my country, water symbolizes purification. Perhaps this was a traditional welcome." The crowd chuckled nervously. Karen tried again. "You're all blind. This is about our sovereignty. This is about the rules." That's when Mark Reynolds, the HOA vice president, stepped forward and handed the officer a file. It revealed a fact Karen had missed because she'd skipped the last budget meeting for a spa weekend in Sedona. 3 months ago, after 2 years of unpaid property taxes, the city had legally reclaimed all roadways in Willow Creek Estates, including Willow Creek Lane. Karen had just assaulted a diplomatic guest on public land. Her face, once red with rage, drained of color. Her knees wobbled. The crowd erupted, some with laughter, others in stunned silence. The moment went viral. Karen's arrest aired on every local channel. Memes exploded. A slow-motion clip of the bucket splash, set to classical music, got 2 million views. The court process was swift, fueled by international attention. Karen was charged with assault on a diplomatic figure, interference with municipal operations, and public misconduct. She was sentenced to 6 months in county jail, fined $30,000, and placed on probation for 3 years. In court, she mumbled, "I was just trying to protect our property values." The judge didn't flinch. "You've done far more damage than any flag or flowerbed ever could." Karen resigned from the HOA. Her house sat on the market for months. Neighbors stopped mentioning her name. The new couple who bought her place asked me once, "Is it true someone got arrested here for throwing water on a prince?" I nodded. Welcome to Willow Creek. The HOA restructured. Rules were softened. Violations became conversations. Community events bloomed: barbecues, potlucks, real connections. I look out at my solar panels now without worry. The lawn's still too tall by Karen's standards, but no one measures anymore. And every now and then, when it rains, I think of that day. How a single bucket of water exposed something deeper. Karen didn't fall because of a prince. She fell because she believed the rules made her untouchable. And Willow Creek learned that sometimes it takes a royal mess to remind us what really matters.